I'm going for mundane here. Like extreme mundanity is my main vibe this month. I'm getting dead into boring.
What's the colour of boring nowadays? Because it used to be grey, but grey's really popular.
Muddy brown, I suppose.
Beige.
Beigey brown.
Is it like a beige or like a chewing gum white?
Yeah.
Is that the colour of boring? And then the sound of boring is obviously
this conversation.
Yeah. This conversation. The sound of your voice talking about your shed.
Hello and welcome. You may have forgotten who we are. It's been a while. Well, welcome to the Year of Shame, episode 5. This is the May, maybe, episode. I'm David Southall, as you'll know, and I am joined today by Joe Cooper.
Indeed. Hello. I'm here. I can confirm.
Steady on that. I'm also joined by our favourite Baron in the world, Neale Jarrett.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to know what the second, third, and fourth and fifth Baron is, but we'll save that for a different conversation. But good evening. Hi, Dave.
Hello. And finally, last but not least, it's Matthew Moore.
Hey, I'll bring a little bit of energy, because... Hello.
Sorry, of course we went to be energetic. Sorry about that. Sorry.
Perhaps we should not record this after a particularly large tea/dinner if you're posh.
Yeah.
Ooh, what did you have? Dave? What's your Thursday night go-to tea?
I actually made some kebabs tonight.
Nice.
Which was very nice.
Wait.
Big filthy kebabs.
What do you mean, like on a skewer?
Yeah, well, I did those, and then I sliced it up and put it in pita bread. It was lovely and fat.
That sounds great. That sounds absolutely fantastic. See, my brain always just goes to like doner kebab. When somebody says kebabs, I don't think of this bit. I think, oh, you made yourself a doner kebab. How fucking clever of you!
Yeah. Do you remember getting those things in the 90s, and they were frozen kebabs, doner kebabs that you put in the microwave?
Yes, Matthew. Yes, I do. And they tasted disgusting, but I still went back to them because they were easy.
I just imagine those being microwaved. You end up with a sort of kebab mist in the kitchen.
Yeah. You'd open the flap of the top flap of the pitta, and this steam would just come out. This smelling steam. It tasted like dog meat, but it was. You went back to it. It was just like because it had lettuce and stuff. It had salad inside, didn't it? You could
while you were microwaving it.
Yeah, I believe so. Or did I just put it in because I was an idiot? And
I think you might have been an idiot. I think I only had them for breakfast, and I don't think salad's on my mind at breakfast.
You had a microwave kebab for breakfast.
Well, it was probably a hungover hair of the dog kebab.
Right. I thought you meant like you got up, kind of bobbing downstairs, got a coffee, and then made yourself a microwave kebab.
Neale, you mentioned earlier that you've had a wee while drinking a pint. In a didgeridoo style moment of breathing and weeing.
I've done it loads.
Have you ever been to the toilet while eating a kebab?
I don't think I have. No, because I'm not weird about like the poo particles. I'm not weird about that. Like people just don't touch their phone because poo particles. It's like no bollocks. I'm doing all my.
You do wash your hands though,
social
right?
media.
Like I don't know if it's that weird
afterwards.
To try and avoid shit.
Of course. Oh, of course not. No, I'm not a fucking...
I'm not Howard Hughes. I don't wash my hands when I have a shit.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's not that bad. But no, I've never think I've actually kind of intaked any kind of greasy night, Friday night kebab whilst I'm pooing. But yeah, loads of times I've taken pints to the... when you're in a pub and you don't trust who you're with to do something to your drink while you're there. Like, you usually leave your pint with your mate saying, look after that, mate. Well,
yeah, rapist night.
My mates would not trust any of them whatsoever. So I've taken my pint to the toilet and I've actually did you say rapist night, by the way? I didn't go to any arranged rapist night.
If it's arranged, it kind of defeats the point.
It's, yeah.
What? I mean, if it's branded, they're going to rape. then why would you turn up? I don't understand.
And if you do, it's consensual. So it's
Yeah. But yeah, no, like standing at a urinal with a pint in my hand and my penis in the other, that's happened to me quite often.
Well, there you go.
How did we get to
getting
this?
confused. pour your pint down the toilet and piss in your mouth. Hang on,
Yeah,
getting it all
exactly.
wrong.
Yeah. I can't tap my head and rub my belly. What are you talking about? So yeah, no, Dave, no pooey kebabi action for me.
Thank goodness.
This is what happened when Dave hosts. The big questions come out at the opening.
I mean, was it last episode we were talking about what animal would you have next to you in a car on a motorway?
Yes,
Now it's
that was
about
Joe.
what food do you eat when you poo.
7 minutes in, boys, we are.
So what food would you eat while you poo then, Joe? We'll pass that over to you. If you absolutely had to.
Jammy Dodger. It's one-handed, quite easy, quite simple. Eat shit, happy. Jammy Dodger.
Jesus.
Matt?
I find myself eating a lot of Tesco's pre-made prawn cocktails. And I think that would be decadent. And I like taking a shit, and I like prawn cocktail.
Classy, I like it. I think I'd go for a jumbo pepperami just to see if I could physically cope with that.
When you say jumbo, is it just one constant pepperoni that keeps on going until you can finally floss yourself with a pepperoni?
It's like an infinity curve. You're just eating it again as it goes through. You've got a circle of fucking shit / pepperami going through your system.
Delightful.
An infinite loop.
So moving on from the toilet food
Yeah, sorry,
activity.
Yeah.
What have you been up to then, Neale, in general, in life?
I've been doing a lot of working, unfortunately. So I've been working really long days. I've not had a lot of time for gaming, which sucks. And when I've not been working and I've not been gaming, a lot of my COVID rescheduled gigs got kind of pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. And it turns out 3 of them all happened one Friday after each other. So I've been to like 3 quite large gigs in totally different towns. Cities, sorry.
Not on the same
over the last couple of
night,
weeks.
on 3 consecutive.
No. Luckily enough, not on the same night, because that's like going to a festival and trying to pick which stage you want to stay at. But no. So I was in Leeds one weekend, then I was up to Blackpool, and then I was down to Manchester. So I've done a lot of kind of hotels. I feel like I've been like some sort of crazed fucking music fan.
Who have you seen then?
Of late.
Who have you seen in there?
So the first one was Metronomy in Leeds, which was amazing. Second one was Foals in Blackpool at one of the ballrooms, which was really good, an awesome venue, really loud. And then the last one was
I've seen them. They're brilliant.
They are fantastic, aren't they? Their second album, while pissing while you're drinking, is amazing. Apparently, was Alt J in Manchester, or the Apollo in Manchester, which was good. But that one was one that was kind of bought for me, and I just kind of had to turn up. Not really a massive fan, but sometimes I like those gigs where you just kind of you turn up and you kind of. It's all new, and you get to listen to the band live and stuff. So yeah, that's me, to be honest with you. I've done a little bit of gaming, which we'll talk about later, but I've been all right. How you been, Joe? How's things with you?
All right. Like you, I've not done much gaming at all. Like I've ended up doing lots of other things. So I've got some uni stuff that I've been doing. Work's been all right. It's not been too crazy. Obviously, the big headline news is the shed. Big old shed.
Jesus. Shed news.
So yeah, that's a good jingle. That is. I mean,
yeah,
that's the main thing we've been working on for the past. The reason we're late really is because we wanted to make sure that jingle was finessed and ready for when we announced it. Like I said earlier, I'm getting really into boring stuff. Like I put a concrete base down. I was like getting into it, doing all the research. But yeah, shed's in.
So is that concrete base going nowhere?
It's going. In fact, that was said several times as we were putting up the.
What was that? I missed that.
That's going nowhere. Don't worry, that's going nowhere.
That's here for ages.
Yeah. That last you.
Yeah, exactly. This will be when I'm gone.
This will be my
I'm
legacy. This will be my mark on the world.
Just
an
put-
8 foot
put me
by
on
8
top
foot
of it and
concrete square.
Put an extra foot on concrete on top of it and just bury me in it. My legacy.
Things
that-
got tense
you-
when we were marking it out because I've got to make sure it's a square, right? It looks square. We've made it square. It's not square. Why is it not square? Because I've measured the diagonals, and the diagonals are not equal, so it isn't a square.
Wait a minute. Is your shed square?
Yeah.
Right.
It'd be silly if it was like a
That's what I was thinking. It's like some
trapezium.
overlap.
some sort of
it's a
trapezoid
pentagon
base.
shape. Yeah. Okay. So you say that you kind of forcing yourself into the mundane and boring. What else have you been doing then? What's the most
Gardening.
exciting?
Been doing a bit of gardening.
See, there's no wrong with a bit of gardening when you get to our
Tomatoes,
age, mate.
growing some tomatoes. Got very excited about some courgettes because they weren't coming and then they came late. But you know when you're like, oh, I'm going to bin these. Give them a week, I'm going to bin them. Out come the little leaves. Here he is, Mr. Courgette, coming to say hello. Got little tomatoes.
That sounds like your private's name, to be fair.
Mr. Courgette.
Here he is, Captain Courgette. Standing
Corn
to
is
attention,
fun
sir!
if I'm lucky on a
This
cold
one
day.
on the scales, love.
Oh, it's ripe. This is ripe. Ripe for the licking.
Yeah, the neighbours have put a bunting, like proper bunting, because there's
Oh, we're ready for this weekend coming?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's it. Bunting, tomatoes, garden centres. It's been embrace the mundane is my advice.
Did you say garden slippers?
No, garden centres.
Oh, right, okay.
Obviously, forgetting to enunciate, I will enunciate.
No, it's fine. I've got really bad hearing, so and also I like making up strange words, what people say purposefully. What have you been up to, Matthew?
Yeah, busy working. I had to go to the office this very week. Actually, I had to go to an office a couple of weeks ago, but it was only like a casual office day. Like, I can get away with what I'm wearing
Breezing in, breezing out.
Yeah, this was like, oh, this is super formal, isn't it? Oh shit, I'm gonna have to go and buy not a suit, but I have to go buy. Okay, my brogues are fine. I need to get a set of chinos and a decent shirt. Yeah,
Right.
and I've officially, boys, right? I've officially gone up a trouser size. I've been putting it off. I've been putting off having to buy a new pair of trousers for so long, and I thought, Matty, don't. I bought them. I knew they were turning up the day before I was going to the office, so I thought, don't fuck about. Don't try and be a clever clogs, right?
Oh my god.
You're a 38 right now. At least for tight chinos, you're a 38. Right, your jeans are still 36, but they're about 2 years old, so they've had time to.
I mean, they've sagged. Natural sag of denim, surely.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm okay. It's admission time. I'm a 38.
That's
Lockdown took.
Yeah.
I had a similar problem, Matt. I went to a wedding.
Your
of a
pants
friend.
don't fit.
Yeah, well, bear in mind, I've basically worn joggers and jeans for about the last 3 years through lockdown. And my friend was getting married, and I thought, my suit will be fine. I've not tried it on for 4 years. So a couple of days before I tried it on, oh dear, it's not fitting very well. But I had a big session the night before. So I had to order a new suit to be delivered up the road. Didn't arrive, so I basically had to starve myself to get into them for the wedding. So I had 2 days of starving myself.
For how long?
That was only about 3 days.
Oh, only 3 days.
Yeah. I'll tell you what though, I went at that buffet like a bat at carrots. I fully
This won't hit the waist until tomorrow, and I'll be out of this suit by then.
Yeah, I looked like I'd sort of spray painted my legs blue. I did joke because I thought I looked like just a Tory councillor. This wedding. Anyway,
Someone running for office.
we
So
got
what have you been
quite
up to? Apart from the wedding, Dave, what have you been up to? You been up to anything good?
Not a lot, really. I haven't really been able to travel a fat lot lately. Home circumstances. So I've been delving into my usual nerdness. So I've been retroing it up and watching a lot of films and TV.
You've been building stuff.
Not really building stuff, just tinkering with stuff.
That's all right then. It's okay.
So yeah.
Cool. We're all right then, aren't we? We're all doing well. Apart from, Joe, who's slipping into a
Oh no, I'm
vortex of
happy. I'm
boredom.
doing well. I'm incredibly happy with mundanity. Like it's properly the way to be.
suits you. It suits you. It suits your face, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
On-gone centre's expensive.
Yeah. Like, don't get me started. Like, how come like sand, which is free on a beach, costs so much?
Banks of pebbles. There's usually loads of them when you don't want them.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm going foraging for natural resources.
Foraging for sand down the beach.
Yeah. I'm going
The worst
collect my own
burglary of all
stand.
time. It took him 37 years to get enough for his patio. I wonder how much of the Cotswolds is left, because everyone seems to have that Cotswold buff. Like, half the UK is covered in it now.
Cotswold buff sounds like a middle-class fanny.
Or perhaps he's just a really tough guy. Like, he's so Cotswold buff.
Oh, watch out.
So like
mate.
Desperate Dan.
Yeah. Cotswold buff. But a lot posher.
a lot aggressive.
Do we know any designers who could just like mock up that for us?
I'm sure there is probably somebody out there.
Anyway, 17 minutes in, video games.
Finally.
First of all, shall we have a question? Who wants to take over questions this week?
Let me have a look at what we've got then. Okay, let's do a question. I'll do one for even though I struggle to read. Okay, let's do one from Kath. She seems to always be the first to chuck something in.
God bless.
Good old Kath. She's awesome. If we expected the unexpected, doesn't the unexpected become expected?
I expect so.
Spoke like a person who thought about that 2 hours
Yeah,
ago.
exactly, yeah.
I cannot wait to bust that out.
Look, we've only had one can. The answer's going to get a lot slower after this.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone can top that answer. Like, I think that's the answer. Ticked, done.
Yeah.
Agenda item, move on.
Well,
Yeah, okay,
we could
fine.
have Joe singing "Surprise, Surprise" by Scylla.
We could.
That would be most unexpected.
But now you'd expect it, you see.
But then you could do, What's Up Pussycat by Tom Jones instead. We just wouldn't expect that. No, it's difficult. No, I'm not even going to try and even go there. Yeah. Okay, she then goes on to post another question. And she says, sorry. Okay. She goes, what would you love to hear announced at this year's E3? Extra points for original answers.
Hound.
Pardon?
Time Hound.
Oh yeah, Time Hound,
Hound.
definitely.
That'll be good.
What the fuck's Time Hound?
Oh,
you know,
if
you know,
don't
like.
yeah, you've got to know.
Oh. Me
All
neither.
right, so fill me in then.
Can't
What do you mean Time
that'll
Hound?
kill you.
It's one of them games that, like, you hear it about. It's got quite an exclusive following. All I can say is there's a dog, the hound in question, and there's time.
travels through
There's
time.
and there's a dog, and that's it.
Wow,
Yeah, but-
sounds
there's
like
It's incredible.
sensational announcement for E3 gear, guys. You don't get an extra point for giving a shit answer to a question. It's just been like,
Oh, hang on, that's how I've
one.
been playing the whole podcast. I need to rethink my strategy.
Yeah, I could say a bunch of rocks. It's an original answer. It doesn't get me extra points because it's fucking shite.
It's really touched the nerve here. We've obviously
I
got
just don't
somebody who's
get
been
it.
touched by Time Hound.
I'm not in part of the inner circle of Time Hound. Apparently, there's a dog and there's time.
You're not in the kennel.
Wicked. Hello. What am I meant to do? Dave, do you want to time? Is this the first time or is this a sequel to the original Time Hound? I want to fucking know.
Yeah, is it
Well,
a
that's the
remake?
beauty of Time Hound. You'll never know.
Because of the nature of the game, the sequel is also the prequel.
Perfect.
I'm going to give you an answer here. I thought about this when I saw it. And I thought, but firstly, I was like, holy shit, E3's still a thing. We might see announcements. Who knows? But I just thought, wouldn't it be nice to someone said they're doing a new Brutal Deluxe? I'd go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'd play that.
Hang on, let me just clarify something here. I don't think E3 is happening this year.
No, it's not. No, they're not even doing a digital version this year, so it'll just be the what's his name, Jeff Keighley's version.
Okay. Is it the Game Award things he does?
Yeah, the game.
Oh, it's just the summer of gaming, and it's like all looped into that, isn't it? Because basically, nobody else will do anything else apart from like IGN stuff. So no, there's no official E3, so there won't be any kind of like, because Microsoft have got something on the 12th of June.
Yeah. So we'll definitely be doing a video call meetup for those, the big ones anyway. I did them for all of them last year, and it was a waste of time for most of them.
Very good.
But what would you like to see announced? I would like to see, and I know this is not really original, but I would like to see Game Pass on the Switch. Just the Game Pass.
On the Switch, sorry?
Game Pass app on the Switch.
Oh, right, okay.
Because it'd just be a perfect device for it. Just cloud streaming.
They're already like rocking all shit. Don't make him any more feature rich.
Yeah, that's true.
There is some of the games are using that, aren't they? I can't remember which one it was, but there's definitely some game that you think, I can't believe that's out on the Switch, and it isn't. It's cloud stream.
I think Control was one of them. Yeah, Control on the Switch. It just streams it. How about you guys? Anything you would particularly like to hear?
I'm still waiting for the next Wolfenstein game, if I'm honest.
Is that still a thing?
Yeah,
Wolfenstein,
there's been 3 so far, haven't there?
Yeah, the first one was great. The second one left us on a bit of an exciting cliffhanger, and then they did that co-op-y kind of one that I didn't.
Yeah, they did one with his twin girls, and that was all. They released badly. It released bugged up, and it wasn't very playable at the time. But give it a month or two afterwards, they patched all the crap out of that, and it was actually quite a good game at the end of it. But yeah, no, there's still a massive story left to tell, and it's just a really good franchise, and I kind of enjoy it. But it's been quite silent for ages. And the other one actually is constantly hearing rumours about a BioShock 4. That would be quite nice to be, so even if it's just a frigging title card, that would be quite nice to see at E3. Yeah. So there's my two.
I think my genuine answer to this really would be...
So the rest of it is false.
No, it's just... I would like them to have a show where they just simply don't show shit that's going to be out in like 3 or 4 years. It needs to be this is going to be the end of this year. Or before the next E3, because the stuff really is so, they show previews of stuff, and we still haven't seen any.
Maybe with the format of it being like these pre-packaged VT segments that just go out by all the major companies, maybe they're thinking like we need to outdo each other by being like, no, this is out. This is out. Like getting the best point at a certain part of a stage, at a certain part of something where all the eyes are on, it ain't a thing anymore. It's just like you package something up and you say it's out now or coming out dead soon, that's going to get you more attention. Just like
that's the thing, though, isn't it? Because I think they don't need to build hype to generate interest. If they drop a game and a month later it's out and it's something that people are into or been waiting for, sequel for whatever, they're going to drop on it. They're going to pay for it. They must know that 80% of their audience, video games, are people like us that have got incomes that can afford stuff. And at a drop of a hat, they'll pay when they're not in a challenge where they can't buy any new video games. They will pay for them. But yeah, because isn't it? Is it Bethesda that do like they announce it in E3 and then they release it in November? When they did, I think they did that for Fallout 4, and I think they did that for Fallout 76 maybe as well. So they're like the time of announcement to release is quite short. Did they do that? Like, have they done that in the past, like you say, Matthew, to compete with each other, to try and push other people out of the market to build hype around a particular franchise? Or is it... I just don't understand why you would announce the title card to something and then wait 4 years to release it. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
I mean, there used to be a thing where people would calculate when they release their game. It's like you don't come out when all the sport games are coming out, because that's just... you don't come out when Call of Duty's coming out. I wonder if that's still a consideration.
No,
the digital distribution is so different
now, don't
they? Yeah,
that's going to happen again.
Crazy.
Isn't it, with like Redfall and Starfield.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Joe? Anything that you'd like to see in E3?
My most miserable and honest answer would be that they're just having, like everyone's having a year off so that we can catch up. So that they're just not going to release anything at all for a full 12 months so we can all catch up with what everyone's been up to.
That's what we're doing.
No, but like for the next year, there's no new games coming out.
Can't you imagine that?
That's going to be an easy year for next year's
So
host,
next
isn't
year's,
it?
yeah.
Oh, imagine how
I would
that'll be.
honestly,
if we've done this for a year and then next year they officially announce there are no more games for a year.
Taking a full break.
There's only so many 70s arcade games I can play.
Something new would be great. Like, so I can't say what the game is, but something new, like something, you know, when something just comes out of nowhere and is like, oh, this looks tasty, this looks interesting. It suddenly starts, and it's like that first time something comes out, not like a sequel to anything else, not a remake, but oh, what's
like
this? Like, because I've not felt that for a while.
Like a Wii
really.
Sports moment, or a Battle Royale, or something, just a new concept, not a bloody another card battler or some shit.
But that can go wrong as well, though, because there was that trailer that kept getting shown all the time, and I forget who was doing it, but it was like dragons and maybe like
it was the Xbox exclusive thing, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh, Scalebound.
And that just disappeared. It's like, what happened? Well, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they cancelled. Well, Xbox cancelled it, didn't they? Like 2 years ago, and just said we're not bothering. It was like halfway done or 3/4 way done. And they were like, no, we're not doing it. And I think there was rumours, or there was posts I was seeing online on Twitter and stuff like that, like about 2 or 3 weeks ago, where there was renewed interest apparently in that particular game. But yeah, you know, I know where you're coming from, Matt. It's like something from nowhere, because that was a 4-player co-op, I think, wasn't it? Where you were all
with the world's
riding
most
dragons.
annoying lead character.
Yeah.
Did he have earphones
Bluetooth?
as well?
Yeah, but he had a headset. That's it. Yeah, he had a headset on. Oh my god! I got my Beats by Dre on.
I like the phlegmy cough to end that rousing speech off.
So I think that's that question done.
I think that's.
Should we move on?
Do you want another question now, or?
Yeah, let's talk about what
Our year of showing
playing.
games.
Let's talk about video games then. So, Joe, apart from your shed, then hit us with your enormous list.
It's here. It's not very long. I've done it with Hades now. I've extracted. It's been like just squeezing a tea towel until it's arid now. But that Hades is done, finished, brilliant. So much like coming back to it. So, for the amount of money I spent on it, the amount of time I got, that was absolutely amazing. It was brilliant. It was great. But that I've started to like. I put it on. It was bored. So that's done. Done and dusted.
How many hours do you think you played it? Because I think you've mentioned it every single major show.
It's got to be in hundreds. I will look it up. I haven't looked it up for this one. I will look it up for the next one. No, I know that I've done 220 escape attempts. So that's like started the game 220 times, which is a lot. Like, I think that'll do now. But I've got to the stage where I'm trying everything out, and everything's got to the point where, I know where this can go. And the randomness adds to it, but that's done, ticked off, completely just done it. Like, there are achievements I haven't done, but they're things that are ridiculous. Like, you'd have to keep playing the game more and more times to do it. So, yeah, that's done. I've been playing a little bit of Zelda, getting back into Majora's Mask. Got a little bit further in that. I think that's one that I just want to get done this year, because I keep starting it, getting a little bit further, and then something else comes along and I get bored and I don't actually get back to it and finish it. And I'm now running with it. You know, when the game, you've got the feeling of the game now, and it's sort of going. It's not even a big game, but it's. Yeah. I think it's so different to the other ones, but it is good. Like, I'm properly enjoying that one.
Are you just playing games related to Time Hound, where you keep doing loops?
Yeah. Well, they're all ones that will eventually, if you play them long enough, you unlock Time Hound. I think they're just trying to do that loop element.
I'm Googling it straight after the show. Do I have to go on the dark web to find out what?
I think it might be a dark web job. You know, have you got Tor and one of those little USB keys that preserves anonymity, something like that? You have to run it from a portable drive. You have to be running Tor from a portable drive to access the Time Hound. I've been sort of flitting about a few other games. So my PlayStation's downstairs, been on that, playing a bit of Ghost of Tsushima, playing a bit of God of War, so that I know the little lad is. So I've got the hang of who the little lad is now and a bit more about that. And that's great, but what the problem I'm finding is my normal gameplay mode is, here's something new and exciting. I'll buy this. And then you start it, and then that newness gets you through the weird controls, and that's the only thing you've got to play. And it carries you through. And the games that I've got that are on my pile are ones that either I bought them while I had another game on the go, so I didn't start them, or I started them and something else came along and took over them. So Fallout 4 is one like that. I never really got into it because something else came along. And I've just got a pile of those games, and it's not really... There's so many of them. There's nothing saying, right, you have to play this one. So it's sort of 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 10 minutes here. And I need a list, and I need to go through the list in order if I'm going to make any progress. One key one that has got to be the next one, I think. And this is... We might talk about this one now. With Dave's help, Dave incredibly generously sent me his copy of the ordinary non-special edition of The Witcher 3. So that's gone in. That's gone into Ali's PlayStation. It's loaded up. It's loaded Ali's save up. And I'm just in the middle of Skellige with his character. And that was weird. Because that's a game that he convinced me to get it. I finished it. But it's one I can remember so many conversations about him. Just ranting about like the potions on this. So I'm going to have to play like I remember him talking about, right? So I'm going to have to make potions on the sword a big sort of focus. I've got his character now, so I've got to build it that way rather than the way I was playing it. That's a weird one. So that's one that like I'm sort of playing it a bit at a time. I've not done much. I've just been sort of faffing about, wandering around, trying to work out what his choices are and what his character's like. And that's sort of the main thing. And I probably have put half an hour to an hour into it. I haven't put ages into it at all.
That must be a bit confusing because I'm sure Skellige's like 3/4 or like over half towards 3/4 the way through the main campaign, isn't it? When things start actually like kicking off. So
there's so many choices, aren't there? There's so many webs that he might have gone this way and I would have gone a different way. So it's reviewing some of that and seeing what weapons he's got and what armor he's got.
Can you backtrack maybe to some of them starting places, going like, who's still alive? Who did he kill?
Yeah. Well, I remember talking to him about... I mentioned our favourite barons before, but I remember talking about the baron at the start.
The bloody baron.
He's a bloody baron.
Down the list.
And I can't remember what he did there, how he resolved that one. So that'll be one to go and have a look back over, because that makes some changes to what happens later on, doesn't it?
It definitely does. And I think that one, there's like 4 to 5 different possible endings on that one, depending on what you do with the crowback bog bitches. The
crowback bog bitches, as though
that's the one. Yeah. So I think there's quite a few outings of that one. So that would be interesting, mate. Yeah, definitely.
And it's not because I love that game. It's so good, and
it's great.
I'm not one to start a game again as a new character. No, so this is my time doing that. There's a reason for it, and I've got to go through. And it's one that feels a bit more personal. Like I know he put time into that, and I know he sort of was thinking about it. So that's. I'm going to enjoy it on a couple of levels. I think that'll be nice.
Right. Awesome stuff. Good man. What about you, Matt? What have you been doing?
Let's see.
Is this time for Matt's Money Matters?
Let me work this out. Firstly,
go on then.
So I got something wrong. I got something wrong, didn't I, on the last show? Because I was like, yeah, man, I got Elden Ring on a bargain. I got it for 35 quid. And then someone had sent me up going like, where did you get that deal? Because I can't find it at that sort of a price. And I was double checking myself and just confusing myself. It turned out that 35 quid was for my 3-month Xbox Ultimate subscription.
Oh, yes.
And I was like, no, I actually ended up paying, 45 quid. I got a fiver off, so it still was a saving. But what we did realise is it needs a jingle. It needs a jingle because everybody now and again, money matters. Alright, anyway, I've made 2 real life Money Matters improvements. One of them is very small, and one of them's actually quite major. So the small one, and I think I told you boys about it. I sent you a screenshot. I was like, I'm looking at the wife's Vodafone contract, and this doesn't sound like it's needed. And you were like, that sounds ridiculous. So I cancelled it. And then the next day, the wife's like, oh, I've got a message saying that I don't have this like security thing anymore. I'm like, no. Apparently, I was paying an extra £1 a month so you can't watch porn on 4G. Like, it was that kind of a family-friendly inclusive that was just sat there.
Sick bastard.
Crikey. That doesn't sound like a bargain at all.
It sounds like you're taking... Yeah,
I guess it's actually like I'm paying for something that's making life worse. I'm flogging myself, but not literally.
So that was a small, a difficult one to identify, but it's kept me in that mindset. But the big change is that I have reevaluated some of my larger real life sort of like commitments, financial commitments, and was like, am I getting the best deal out of this? And I 100% wasn't, and I knew that I wasn't, and I looked into options, and then essentially, Joe, I'm gonna give you some hot figures, but without real figures. But like, I had a 5-figure loan with 19% interest. And I thought, and the thing is, though, that was great because I took that out like 6 months ago to pay off credit cards, which were all 45% interest. So that I essentially, I bought myself a bit of time. I guess I thought I solved the world, but no, I bought myself a bit of time. I then sort of reevaluated my current loan. I'm like, shit, man, I'm 6 months into it. I was looking at how much I'm going to pay back. I'm like, that's terrible. So shopped around really well because I'm not on the back foot. I'm like, hang on a minute, what the fuck's going on? I can't remember exactly what the interest rate is, which is probably the wrong thing to be saying after this whole conversation. But
lower than 19 means it's
I'm now paying for.
So anything lower than 19 is
yes. So when it was 3.5 years to pay off, it's now only 3 years to pay off, and it's less money, and I'm saving at least a couple of that, at least $1,500.
That's huge. That's big. That's made me very happy. Yeah. It's warmed the cockles of my heart because that is just, you've moved something. There's no cost to you. Like, you're not getting a lower quality loan, are you? You're not getting instead of having a Waitrose loan, you're getting an Aldi.
The money's
loan.
The same.
It's like it's exactly the same thing for you, except $1,500 in your pocket rather than some bastard's pocket. So, well done, mate. That's good. Brilliant.
Some rich twat who
That's brilliant.
Need it or deserve it. Yeah.
Thank you, mate. Other than that, from a gameplay point of view, I have been playing Elden Ring. Not as much as everybody else. Everybody's playing Elden Ring. People are streaming Elden Ring. I've been watching Matt Spink play Elden Ring, and he's a really fun streamer to watch because, like, I'll sometimes, if I'm very rarely there at the time, but I'll watch his replays of a boss because the guy, he gets into it. He just loves it. He can't help himself in that game, and he jumps up and he's out of shot. He doesn't care about the fact that he's streaming. It's me and it's him and this dude right now, and it's so much fun to watch and be with him. Oh, I
love it watching Spinky streams because he's absolutely doing his own thing. He's got like all his notes on his phone that he's making. And so he's like creating his own story. He's using his own build. He's using weapons that nobody else is using just because he likes them.
Have you seen what he's using lately? He's using like a massive shield that shoots fire out the front.
Yeah.
And then the hammer on his shoulder, like a huge one-handed hammer that's got like fire damage on that as well. It's just like he's created himself a tank.
Also, that hammer has a name. It is Big Bertha.
Baboom.
That's why his
there you go.
Twitter handle's changed as well. As you were saying about that, everyone's playing it. So I'll get onto this later. Obviously, I've been playing it. But I love how it's making loads of people stream. So we've seen like Rob Mason, James Watley, Spinky, Dave Packer, Rich as well.
I had to go. This dude right here.
What did you, Matthew? When did you didn't advertise that out?
No, I did it out of the blue. I'm sure I posted it somewhere because Dave joined me, and the best thing was at the very end he sent me a message. He was like, "You went, that was really cool, mate. Also, you're a lot further in than I expected."
Yeah,
well, yeah. Fuck you. I was doing. When I ended the stream, I got to the bit where I'd first watched Spinky take down this boss. And then I just got lost. And I got lost trying to get back to my. So Dave, you saw me fail trying to use magic. As soon as I loaded back in, with no pressure, no one watching, I went down there, moon veiled, two-handed, and just out you go.
Yeah, I mean that's what I've loved. I finished the game now. I'll just say, and I was in a real bad place afterwards. I was like, I don't know what to play. So all I did for about another week was watch people playing Elden Ring and sort of help them with the builds and things like that. Loved it, like especially James Watley. I've spoke to him so much.
Yeah, you really like. I was watching quite a few of his streams, and you could definitely see there's camaraderie, and you kind of not wanting to tell him what to do and where to be. You wanted him to kind of have that kind of experience of exploration and things like that, but. When you knew that there was something in particular or a particular stance or a particular way to go about something, you didn't. It's kind of like when people like they don't. There's a puzzle and they don't want to give you the answer. They give you enough clue for you to work it out and still have that sense of grandeur that you've made it yourself and you've done it yourself. Yeah. It was good, Dave. Yeah, I think that's the reason why I think he appreciated it as much as he did, because it was a good guidance that you gave him.
I can't remember, when was St. George's Day? That's so patriotic of me, I can't even remember. But basically I dressed up as St. George in game, so I had to go and find the lance and so on. So I dressed up as St. George and we went off battering dragons on St. George's night. It's great.
Nice. Good stuff. So have you only been playing Elden Ring then, Matt? Have you not been playing any other games?
Not really, no. I did a bit of Sea of Thieves with my mate's stream on Twitch. Sea of Thieves is loads of fun. But other than that, no. So that's going to lead us into... so guess what? Yeah, who was it was asking me? Who was it was asking me how much Elden Ring was? Who was it decided they were chomping
It was me.
a bit?
I was me, because I was... very much. I was tempted last podcast. I was like, right, you know what? I want to buy this game. I've been avoiding this game for ages because absolutely everybody's going nuts for it. Everybody's talking about it. All my mates and not just my Soulborn kind of fanatic mates that literally had a permanent erection 24 hours a day for 3-4 weeks. Not even them guys. The other guys all was basically chomping at the bit to kind of tell me how awesome it was, and then just talking about all the mechanics. I was tempted in the last recording just to buy the game there and then. I didn't. I lasted another day, and then I bought it.
Klaxon!
Klaxon time! So yeah, no, I bought Elden Ring. It's my Joker. I looked at and I put a post out on the Facebook group, the Euroshame Facebook group, saying, "Look, guys, these are the games that are coming out this year that I'm interested in buying. In your opinion, which one should I wait for these or should I buy these?" So I put on about 5 or 6 different options, and if memory serves me correctly, I put about 5 options on there. It was called, including Starfield, including The Invincible, which is another kind of single player experience that's meant to be coming out this year. And it included Elden Ring, and it was 28 votes to 2. So it's like a unanimous decision of like, right, okay, no, that not only do I feel that I'm missing out, and I've got that FOMO feel that everybody else is. People are saying, look, if you're gonna use your Joker this year, use it on this. And my opinion, I absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. I've been playing it a lot, but the way that my job is, I've been playing it like I mocked Dave for last episode, playing it 2 hours before he started work, and then 6 hours after he finished, and then 2 hours before he went to bed. I've been doing something very similar, Dave.
Hey!
I've been playing for an hour in the morning before I officially signed on to work, and then when I've got that gap between like 3 and 5 between my next meeting if I've got the availability. I probably shouldn't say this out loud. Not like anybody in my business is listening to this. I've been chucking it on for an hour. I've been playing a lot of it. It's in my dreams. I'm thinking about it all the time. And I think, look at my notes. I played it this afternoon for about an hour and a half before we came on. I'm 60 plus hours in.
Pretty decently in then.
But I'm only in terms of locations that you unlock. Limgrave, you're gonna have to help me out here, Dave, with the locations because there's so much information this throws at you. Put it this way, it's quite known that this game doesn't give you any help. Everybody knows that. Mm-hmm. Okay, you come across there's no quest log, there's no map markers, there's fuck all. You basically do it yourself. It's saying here's the fun, have the fun, sort it out. The fact that the map, when you open up a new area, it tells you the part of the map that you're in, but it tells you once. When you look at the map afterwards, it doesn't tell you where you were. So I only know Limgrave because I fucking remembered it. I don't remember all the other places because it doesn't tell you on the fucking map where you are.
I don't know if you know this, Neale, but you can just
here we go.
place map markers all over the place. Your own custom ones.
I've done the custom ones. I've done them. Yeah, I put them in. So certain the way that I use those place markers and is for every mini or kind of boss battle or cave or dungeon that I've gone down that I've beaten the boss on, I'll leave a sword place marker outside, knowing that there's a battle taking place. I know what I've done in there, so I don't become confused. And I have done loops of the same area, and go what's in there. So no, I'm loving it. I'm not going to rant on about too much about it because it's boring. It's been out for ages. Everybody else, like yourself, Dave, has either completed it or on the New Game Plus or what have you. So I'm. It's not like I'm telling anything that anybody doesn't already know. But I love it. It's exactly what I wanted from. It's actually what I wanted from a good fantasy RPG. Mm. They've the expanse of it all, the mystery of it all. The make your own adventure of it all is amazing. And I've gone into boss battles, I've gone into areas that I'm like, yep, fuck off, you turn back out the other way. But going back in there 6 or 7 hours later and having a more of a chance and stuff like that to kind of keep up with and do that exploration is part of the charm. And like I say, I'm 60 hours in. I'll tell you where I am, Dave, and you'll tell us. So I've done the Limgrave. I've done the weeping thing underneath it, the weeping plinths underneath it. I've gone through the first castle bits and bobs. The lake of something or other?
Lernia, something like that.
Lernia. I've only just opened up the entirety of north, south, east of that. And I've just... The furthest I've gone into like the story in inverted commas is is it the Four Sisters or the Three Sisters area where you got the witch Rini kind of storyline progresses from. I've just got around there and I'm just working out bits and bobs from there. Basically, in a nutshell, guys, what I'm trying to say to you is I'm 60 hours in to where probably most people are 20 hours in. I've spent a lot of time repeating, going around and making sure that I'm not missing anything.
That's what I did. I just walked the land like Kung Fu. Just exploring and leveling up.
Zigzag the motherfucker out of it, yeah.
Also just stealing everything. A lot of them I just ran in, nicked stuff, buggered off.
Yeah, it's great. And this afternoon, I came across the only boss that I came across that just one-shotted me to fuck. And I'm gonna I won't be able to tell you who it is, but I went into a portal and it took me to, is it Khalid or whatever it's called?
It's the worst place in the game. It's horrible.
Oh, my God, is that the fucking literal the devil waiting for you right there? So it teleported me to the north of Khalid, or whatever it's called. And this guy in front of me who literally looks like a demon, like, you know, literal respectively. And then I went into the church behind me, traded in some kind of stuff with what I thought was a nice guy. Chucked him some death roots, gave me some kind of ashes of war, thought it was great. Turned my back, walked out of the building. on my back like a massive gorilla. He's kicking the shit out of me. And I was like, wait a minute, 2 minutes ago you were a vendor. Where the fuck did you come from? It's a great game, and I just love the fact that it's not normal, it's not standard, it's not linear. It's great, and I'm really glad that I used it as my Joker. So I thank both yourself, Dave, and Matt for what you explained on the last podcast, and what I've seen you guys kind of involved in other people's streams and stuff like that. You've unlocked a game that I was avoiding on purpose because I've tried Souls games previously, and they've not, in my opinion, they've not done it right. This is right. So I thank you for it.
Excellent.
That's me done. Oh, and by the way, in talking about games, I've played a lot of Cyberpunk as well. That game is amazing, by the way. I think people have danced over the problems and think it's a shit game with loads of bugs and stuff like that. It's not. It's when it does it right, when the stories are right and the missions are right, it's an amazing game.
I can't wait to get stuck into that.
Mate, honestly, I have put... Let me refer to my notes. The game save that I'm on currently, that I started 2-3 weeks back, I'm 64 hours in, and it's amazing. It's really good. Graphically, story-wise, I don't understand why people have got a gripe with it. I think they've got to stick up their arse.
Was it just because it was so buggy at launch and it's been vastly improved now?
Yeah, I mean, when I first turned it on, you were unsure what was graphical bugs actually in the game or what was actually meant to be look like a bug in the graphics. Because there's a lot of, sketchy kind of, screen tearing and stuff like that in the game, because it's about being half a robot basically. So it was part of that, but honestly, it's a great game. I highly recommend when you get the opportunity to play it. Good single game that you can single player game that you can really get into, make your own, and just fuck around in. It's great. I love it. But that's me done. So Dave, on to you.
Right then. So I haven't got such a bumper crop as usual. As you can imagine, most of my month has been taken up by Elden Ring. So I have finished it, and I have got the platinum. I did do a...
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, and I've also...
So did you do you have to get the platinum to do a couple of different endings?
Well, you see, the thing is that to get the platinum, you need to do 3 specific endings. And not a lot of people have discussed them, but there are a good few more endings that you wouldn't really know about. A lot of people who I've spoke to just had no idea that there were more than those 3 endings. So because I took so long and I'd explored so much and I've really, really dug into the lore, dug into the exploring, going back absolutely fine-tooth combed everywhere. So I basically did everything. There's only one thing I missed. So I just created a save at the end and then just absolutely save scummed him.
All right,
right
good.
At the end.
That's what I did with... that's what most intelligent people do.
But you have to sort of set them up to that point.
Yeah.
So I'm still really, really chuffed because I didn't use walkthroughs. That was all me just being absolutely anal exploring.
I mean, that's your nickname, isn't it? Anal Explorer.
Anal Explorer. That's why I went and got that big lance for this stream.
Yeah.
Hearing you talk about it, I feel like I miss. This is like everyone's been talking about it. I feel like I'm missing out a bit, but if I'd got it, because like you, I'd want to explore it a lot. I think it would take up all of my gaming time. And Dave, you seem to have an absolute bottomless well of gaming time. You seem to be able to hammer right through.
I'm basically insomniac. I just don't sleep, so I just play in the morning and I play late at night.
Joe, from my opinion, mate, from what I know of your gaming habits, and you got that time and that, but then you've got that repetitive time where you'll play something a lot. If you played this game, it would be the only thing you play for at least a year.
Yeah.
I swear to God, because if it resonates with you and it gets you, you'd be in it for how you've mentioned hundreds of hours into Hades, which is a £15, kind of indie-esque kind of game with its mechanics but limited mechanics. This would just suck the fucking life out of you. It really would.
It's so
and in a good
big,
way, potentially.
You don't want to play anything else because there's just... It seems like a bottomless well of things to explore. Honestly, it's like the first days of playing like World of Warcraft or something, where you're just in this giant, vast land and you've got endless adventures ahead. It can be a bit overwhelming, but it didn't feel
it's very
like that.
overwhelming in places. It's very overwhelming, but it doesn't get too repetitive, which is what I've really enjoyed. It's not like it's rinse repeat in kind of, because there is no missions, there is no, well, there is, but they're not.
But they're not repetitive.
They're just in their mechanics. You've got like dungeons, and dungeons can feel the same, but there's different enemy types. There's different there's bits and bobs in there, but they're all worth exploring. There's always something at the end of it that is worth doing.
I think the special thing about Souls games, well, apart from Bloodborne, and this is probably one of the reasons I didn't get on with that, is you can pick up a new weapon and it suddenly feels like a new game. You've gone from like a big hammer welding barbarian to a super fast smuggler with a fencing sword.
On guard!
Yeah.
See, one of my strategies when I played
it just feels
Bloodborne,
completely different.
I stuck with pretty much one weapon all the way through. I found one that I got the hang of when I played Bloodborne. And just kept at it with that one. And I think that meant I could do Bloodborne. Like, I could do it. I did Platinum Bloodborne, which you can do with just one weapon all the way through.
You can 100% level up your starting weapon in this and finish the game with it.
Right.
No problem.
Yeah.
Any weapon you like.
I found 2 weapons that I've got at the moment, and bear in mind I'm like a quarter way through the game. I found 2 weapons that I've been using for the last 15, 20, 30 hours.
Yeah.
And I've been leveling them up when I can.
Yeah.
But they're amazing. Anyway, sorry, Dave. This is about you and your game.
No, it's all right. I don't mind talking about this. Because there's also spoilers. There is a way to completely respec your character. So you can take your character right back to what the base stats you started the game with. So if you started as one of the classes with literally no levels, you could just make your character again whatever you want. But you can completely re-roll your character.
Is that the witch that does that?
Yeah.
Is there?
It's after a boss. So.
Yeah, we got that. Yeah, that I saw that option. Well, I saw what I thought that option was, because it doesn't tell you in plain, simple terms you're respecing your character. It's just like, would you like to be reborn again?
But this is what I'm saying though. It does effectively rebirth your game. You can just play as a completely new character. So you can go from, like I said, a barbarian to a complete intelligence-based mage. But you can only do that so many times. You need a consumable to do it, but there's loads of them. I've done it a ton of times now.
What else have you been playing, Dave?
All right. So after I finished that, anyway, like I said, it bummed me out completely. So I spent a couple of weeks just watching other people play, really. And then, of course, we've had the electricity hike since then, so I can't afford electricity anymore. So now I've just got a Rubik's Cube, I've got a couple of sliding puzzles and a copy of Monopoly, and that's it. I'm done.
Yay! Are you stealing next door's electricity like when they steal gas in Bottom at the moment? It's a gas man!
Nah. So, so I looked on Game Pass and then I realised that it's almost... It's recycling things quite quickly now, and a lot of the ones that I wanted to play, I said I wouldn't play anything that wasn't released after January the 1st. They've gone, and
oh really?
Obviously,
what's gone?
Oh, loads of stuff. Only little stupid things. And there's a plethora of new games, but it's essentially useless for me at the moment. Game Pass, it's just a complete waste of time. So I'm just ignoring it.
Yeah.
So right after that, so I tried a few older ones. So I played first of all. It's a game like Portal. I talked about it before. That's Superliminal puzzle game, very portally, all perspective based. quite a funny narrative, over the top. Right up your alley, this one, Neale. I think you'd absolutely love it. Really clever, really funny, really smart. Love that. And then we've been playing in the Friday night chat thread. There's this thing called High Score Day, www.highscoreday.com. And every day it is 5 pictures, and you can start typing for each one. And they're all video games. They're all pretty obscure pictures, and you have to try and guess the 5 games for the day.
It's like catchphrase, but just a screenshot of the game, and you have to work out what game it is.
Yeah.
Which is really fucking annoying, because when you think it's one game, it turns out to be its sequel.
Yeah.
It's very annoying.
It's great. So a lot of us have been doing that every day for weeks and weeks and weeks now. Annoying other people in the thread, obviously. But what it has done is got us talking about games an awful lot. About old forgotten games and things, and just having a little bit of discussion every single day has been brilliant. So we were talking about it, and one of them was the LucasArts film, game, Full Throttle. It's an old point-and-click adventure. And I realised that I never actually finished it, so I went back and I absolutely blasted through that in a day. Really good fun.
Shit.
Obviously...
How long does one of those games take to complete these days?
It took me about 6 hours, I think. We talked about it on the morning, and I said, I've never played this. I'm off to do it, and I did. I just went and did it that day.
Challenge accepted.
So that was great. Obviously, like I said, shows his age, but thoroughly enjoyable. So basically, those 2 games and watching the streams of Elden Ring just proper got me right out the funk and straight back into loving stuff. So some other stuff I've played are, I did another Borderlands 3 DLC. Did the Love, Guns and Tentacles DLC, and that felt pretty much like a whole game. It was a good length. It took us about 3 weeks, like of one night a week. Really satisfying little self-contained adventure. Great stuff. And then this one, I think I may be the only person to have ever played this.
I think I just read this in the show notes. Is this what I think it is?
Yeah. So being a Black Country lad,
Is it the coming together of 2 amazing franchises into the perfect Dave Southall moment?
Yeah. So Peaky Blinders, Mastermind. Right.
Fuck off.
So is it presented by... So in sort of the big chair, have you got a Peaky Blinder?
No, it's
Have
not
you got,
actually.
like, John?
It's not actually Mastermind like this. Da, 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 da.
It's Game of Thrones 15-1. That's
No.
what it is. All the characters are stood round.
It's
Go on,
possibly
sorry,
the
Dave.
worst use of a license I've ever seen in a game. It could be anything. You could be controlling coloured blobs. You could be controlling I don't know, anything. It doesn't matter. So the premise of the game is that it's like a 3D isometric view, and you're controlling different members of the gang. Different members of the gang have got different powers. Well, I say powers, like can kick a door down or distract someone.
Attributes.
It's quite a low rent wizard if that's his powers.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's just boots them.
It's like, Alama Kikadora.
Yeah, one of the characters' ability is literally they can have a fight. That's it.
It's like if the Marvel franchise was set in the Black Country.
Yeah. There's also no voiceovers at all in it, but they have done a good job of the music. The music's very Peaky Blinders, but there's no voiceover.
I don't understand what sort of game it is. Like,
You're basically planning a caper, so you have to do some...
Caper.
oh, it's a standard caper plan.
Yeah, it's just
Oh, right, yeah.
caper.
One of those games.
Standard. Actually, sure, it's not standard. It's Black Country.
Black Country caper plan. That well-known genre of game.
Caper age.
What are you into? Oh, I'm into beat 'em ups. Oh, I prefer Black Country caper plans.
I like playing specifically as one character from Peaky Blinders Mastermind. The one who can have a fight.
You're going to get that made into a t-shirt, aren't you, Dave?
Yeah.
The guy's face.
Yeah, so it's basically like a sort of XCOM type game, but it's not.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. I was waiting for it.
I'm on board now.
Yeah, but it doesn't play like that. I mean, you're not shooting people and things.
All right, I'll go over here.
So basically, you can rewind time all the time, and you can swap to another character.
Like Time
and
Hound.
rewind.
Like
and
that
get
Time
them to
Dog.
match
Like
up.
fucking
It's
Time
like
Dog.
Time Hound. It is exactly like Time Hound.
Oh, right, yeah. So what I'm guessing is it's a Black Country caper planner with elements of dog time travel in it.
Yeah, and a quiz.
And a quiz at the end. Just like a normal
What's
night out.
complete
It hasn't
level,
got
you've
a
got to do
quiz.
the
Hasn't
quiz.
got a quiz. Yeah, so it's
In Series 3 of Peaky Blinders, what colour tie was...
Can I ask a quick question? Sorry, would dog time travel be confusing because they age differently?
oh no.
Or is,
That's
am I
the
thinking
least of
about
your
it too
worries.
much?
Nah, mate,
I can't answer that question. Sorry.
They think they've gone back to 1955, but actually, because in dog years, they've gone back to the 16th century.
You just have to multiply by 7, don't you? That's how it works, yeah.
Anywho,
So anyway, back
Peaky
to
Blinders Mastermind.
Mastermind, the game.
Hang on,
The
I'm
game.
going to read something from about this
TM.
item on Amazon because I wanted to look it up. Is this accurate? The first thing it says is true to the TV show.
Nope. It's got a canal.
Become the mastermind.
Yes, that is what you do. You have to mastermind the whole operation so it all goes off
It
simultaneously.
does say manipulate time on the thing.
Yeah,
Manipulate.
seriously, it's an absolutely brilliant puzzler. The story's a bit crap and the license is crap, but it is an absolutely superb puzzle game. Real head scratcher. So basically, you're swapping around characters and rewinding time to make them do things at the same time. Like someone will open a door for someone, or someone will distract a guard, or so you can send a kid up a chimney to go and get something for you.
soot.
And then at the end, you sort of play it all. You watch it all play out. So it might take, like, the last level probably took me like 2 hours to set up, and it's about a 5-minute sequence when it all plays out. It's really good.
So is a movie maker then? You're making a sequence of events take place when they need to. So it's not an XCOM in terms of a battler.
No,
it's not like
a
you
battler
versus a
at all.
rival
No,
gang.
It's pure
okay.
puzzle, the whole game.
And then,
Okay, that
and then
makes-
when you get to the end, does it then play it back out without it turn-based, like in real time?
Yeah. And so you've got to try and beat the levels in like combined time under a certain time. So when you play it all back, you might, like, say, have to beat the level in 3 minutes, but it might have took you half an hour to plan and move everyone into place. So yeah, I managed to stick with that, and I completed it. Proper enjoyed it.
What did you play that on? Was that got to be on
Xbox.
PC?
It was
Jesus
before
Christ.
Christmas. It was on sale for about like $3.99. So I thought, I'm having
Did
that.
you get your full and maximum amount of achievement points out of it?
No, because they're insane, some of them, and
okay.
I just couldn't be bothered. So yeah, it's a bit like a sort of turn-based FTL at the end, which I thought might appeal to you, Matt. Yeah, short on drama, but very clever game. Enjoyed that. What else? So they're all the ones I've completed.
Dave's lists are awesome. I think I managed to scratch my balls this week. Dave's completed and played games.
I know. I've sneezed 3 times and he's completed 2 games.
I'm gonna miss off most of the retro stuff because that's also my I'm in a gaming funk. Get me out of here. Where I
Can I ask you about
basically
one of the
play-
retro games I've seen on your list? Because I've never heard of it, but I'm intrigued by Volgar the Viking.
That's not. It's sort of a retro game. I'll talk about that then. So that's another one that I've got on the pile, and that plays like, I don't know if you've ever played an old game called Rastan. You look like Conan the Barbarian with a sword. Very old arcade platformer. It's like a cross between that and Ghosts and Goblins, and it is ball-crushingly difficult. I cannot believe how hard this game is. I haven't even got off level 1 yet.
And do you play the titular Volgar?
Yeah, you are Volgar the Viking. That was free with games on Gold in about like 2017 or something. So it's well worth going back to.
How big
it's
is your
solid.
hard drives, Dave? You've literally
They're on the
downloaded
cloud.
every.
This game's tiny. It's about 10
how-
meg.
How did you find that was a game from like 5
Yeah.
years ago that you just randomly own the license to? Do you have a list somewhere?
Well, this is a bit of a tangent. There's a Facebook group I'm in called Forever Arcade, and the guy Jay, he's in Midlife Gamer group as well, but he posts. It's like a read-only group, so only he can post, and he posts like memories. So he's always posting about a certain arcade game or something and discussing it. And Rastan was one of them, and I said, "Oh, I remember playing that. Have you played this?" And we had a little chat about it, and I thought, I'm going to go and play that now. So I did.
Oh.
So yeah, that is so hard. But similar to that as well, I dug out another older game. It's fairly new, but it's one I owned a few years ago. And it's called Blasphemous, and it's vaguely based on Catholic, like, myth. It's the only way I can explain it.
Wow.
But it's essentially like a 2D Castlevania type thing, and it's the closest thing I've come to playing like a Souls game that isn't a Souls game. It is brutally hard. Like I say, it's 2D, old school 8-bit, 16-bit type graphics. Very violent, very, very horrible, very, very hardcore. Loving it.
Would Ian Paisley approve?
Probably not.
When you said like a Catholic game, I just thought like
No.
chasing children. Like,
Have you ever played?
like a
Oh Christ, what's it called? Don't leave this one out. It's called something like the something to chivalry. It's like a point and click adventure. I played this a long time ago. It looks like it's been pieced together by bits of Monty Python films and Renaissance paintings. It's a comedy game.
I don't think I have that. No.
Oh, I can't remember. Something to cavalry. Yeah, anyway, so I recommend that game for any masochist out there. It's very good.
Sweet.
Played a bit of Friday the 14th on... Oh, sorry, 14th, 13th.
Friday
We played it on the Saturday.
Scary. There's the hangover day for Friday the 13th.
Dave's doing like an Anchorman thing where he will read what
Whatever's
he's
on
put
the
in front of
autocue.
him.
Yeah.
We could
today-
change
Oh,
his show
goodness.
notes while he's
Oh
talking.
my
and
God, I
he'll
didn't even
keep
think
reading
about
it.
that.
Yeah, hang on a minute. Let's play this game. Sorry, Dave, carry
I
on.
really want to see a film or game called Friday the 14th now, where it's just a normal Friday. Like,
Everyone sort of gets the feeling
down the
they
pub.
should be scared, but they can't think why.
or someone forgets it's Valentine's Day or something.
Yeah. Yeah, so we had, instead of Gears and Beers, we played Friday the 14th. That's it.
13th, you dick.
It's going to be called Friday the 14th from now on. Really, really funny.
Where do you get 14th from?
I don't know. Good game to play while drunk. Nobody really knew what they were doing. Everyone was terrified when Jason's stomping after them. It was just a really, really good laugh, and I hope we play that again. Unlike golf with your friends, which should be burnt and erased from all hard drives everywhere, which we also
I played that last Friday. I played that last Friday with everybody because everybody was online and nobody wanted to play anything serious. So it was the first time I ever played golf with friends, and my God, that's a frustrating game.
It is good, but
It's a very, very frustrating.
But you can't really tell where you're going. You only get a certain amount of time to fly above the course and look around where you're supposed to be going. And then the levels get so complex, you just literally can't tell where you're going unless you played them before.
It's terrible.
It's pure luck.
It is definitely.
Yeah, we played that as well a few weeks before that. Great. And then the last one is just pure embarrassment game. I've been playing this PC game called Rival Stars Horse Racing, where I'm basically breeding horses and racing them and having a little flutter on them.
When you say you're breeding horses, can we get some context, please?
You've just got stables and you can sort of merge two horses that you like the look of.
Where the daddy horse and the mummy horse love each other very much.
I'm not going all James Herriot.
The feed you give them or the straw types, and you're not creating a fucking hybrid that, there's your albino unicorn, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Which would be great.
It's just embarrassing, but I quite like it. I just like horse racing, basically. And then, like I said, retro, too much to mention, but I have touted the idea, so I might do a retro stream very soon with a sort of theme. So
yes, we want you to, Dave. We've seen screenshots of what you can do with OBS. Stop teasing.
I just need my PC to not break for a change. Anyway, that's me done. I'm done. Over.
Cool. Well, let's jump straight into a Facebook question, shall we? Straight after that. Who's next? Who's next for using their eyes and reading skills?
I got one. Dave Packer's got a couple of questions for us, and we will kick off with: are you guys gaming together much, and do you plan to hit a game together this year? And there's a few. I think there's a few themes, or these questions might come a lot. We always we wanted to, but I mean, real life's dead hard.
Yeah, I think I'd love to, and I don't think I've played a game with any of you for years, like literally years. So
yeah,
I've gone quite solitary on computer games, to be honest. Like I might have the odd little bit where I'll have a race on Mario Kart or something like that with someone like quickly arranged, but I haven't done anything proper for a long time.
Fall Guys is coming out as free to play and cross play on everything, so that solves the platform issue. If we fancy a little stupid go on that, because we can play on whatever. And like I said, we've missed a trick with Elden Ring, haven't we? Because I've played it on PS5. Matt's got it on Xbox. Neil's just bought it on PC.
On PC, yeah. So yeah, we've completely fucked each other on that kind of co-op. No, it's not something that I set out this year to think about, but it would have been awesome to try and do something and face these kind of pile of shame together. That would have been quite nice. But no, we haven't, and we've not got, because we're all on different platforms majority of the time. Then it is a bit difficult, isn't it? I suppose.
I mean, we do play Gears of War, and especially Neale and myself play nearly every Friday. Matt joins us quite often, but Joe's not got an Xbox, so he can't join in that.
Poor Joe.
So yeah,
you're missing out on the amount of swear words and expletives, and this game is bugged because I've died instantly. Jibes that goes on that particular one. So no, into my answer to Dave's question is not as much as we'd like, mate, but it's been a bit of a weird year, and obviously because we're all different platform kind of guys, it makes it harder to do stuff like that. Unfortunately, we'd love to.
Without destroying the magic, it's sometimes been quite hard to arrange times to do these podcasts. So arranging that as well, I think.
Yeah, it'd be fucking well on.
It'd be quite tough to get everyone together for an evening.
I'm sure it will happen.
Completely.
Like I said, if my PC was more powerful, we could play. I've got a ton of those like remote play together on games on Steam, which obviously involves no money being spent by anyone.
Can we start a Kickstarter for a new PC for Dave? So
all
these things can come
being
to
lazy.
And the amount of things, Dave, that you showed me, you sent us screenshots of OBS where you could potentially make the world of awesome happen. But then you're like, but my computer can't do it.
It reminded me of the kids program Nightmare, where there's action taking place in one part of the screen, but then there's animation in another part. You can see the actual studio kids gathering around trying to get questions together in another part. It reminded me of that. I was like, I want to play Nightmare.
Here's what we should do. So that I don't buy Elden Ring, I can be blindfolded. We'll do Nightmare, but you've got to walk me round.
Nightmare.
In your back garden.
Walk me round a game. But I'll play it without being able to see it. I'll do that.
Oh, that's so good.
Perfect.
Matt's got to dress up as Treguard with his beard. Look, he's coming along.
Oh, yeah, I think there's a bit of a Treguard, but I reckon you could do that. Mike, you pull that off. We just need a pickle.
A pickle and a satchel. Put your food in.
Right, come on. I took some questions now.
Next question.
All right, are you guys planning a physical meetup now, Dave? I think you know as much as anybody. The meetups, they happen, and if you want to be there, you go there. I'm not planning anything. I have no time to plan things.
I occasionally find myself in Birmingham, but I message Dave late notice and say, "Dave, I'm in Birmingham," and he's like, "It's the middle of the day, Joe. I'm working. What are you on about?" And then I go, "All right, next time."
That's
next
30
time,
miles away from where I live.
Yeah. Oh, while we're on that, did you eat the snack bar that you found on the train?
I just left it there for the next passenger.
I wonder if they mused about it and asked opinion, or they just had it.
Go be a little sniff. Yeah,
sniff my bakewell.
I'd love to see everybody. Like, I enjoyed it when we met up like a couple of months back. Well, not all of us, but like a lot of midlife gaming people did. It was great. It always is. And because now the pandemic seems to be less important than everything else in the world, it would be awesome to do that. But yeah, there's no plans as such. Who knows though? September's normally the month, isn't it? Late September is usually the prime kind of get together bits and bobs. Everybody wants to kind of let go before Christmas comes in, so maybe we'll do something.
I'd say something will happen, even albeit on a smaller scale. You know, we're not talking massive joint MLGX this year, I don't think, but who knows?
You never know. You look at a raffle. Next question.
Next question is the last question I'll do from Dave Packer here, and I've got an answer for this as well. He says, if you had to marry another member of the podcast, who would you choose and why? Now, I figured, well, to be fair, I could, if I married Joe, my money issue would be over. I would be a wealthy man, and I have no waste.
You'd have to live in a shed. He's
already talked about how mundane he's enjoying the mundane. Think about the sex, Matt. Like, it would be missionary.
Be mundane as possible.
Joe sex. And that's all you're going to get. You're not going to get any. You're not going to dress up some surprises from Joe.
Sometimes knowing what you're in for on the day is quite good, isn't it?
I'm saying that I'm open for a little bit of happiness.
I
think
Neale's trying to usurp me. He's home wrecker here. We've got a beautiful home. Me and Matthew, with lots of money in the bank, savings. We've probably got a stocks and shares ISA at this point. That's the kind of life we're living. And you're coming in, trying to ruin it with promises of filthy, lurid sex acts, possibly involving Gibbons. And I know you didn't say Gibbons, but it was reading between the lines. I can see that.
Because I know Matt. That's because I know Matthew.
Matthew, you've got a choice now.
I don't know what's more
Gibbons.
important to him in life: having a bank account full of money,
or getting wanked off by a
having your sexual desires met.
Oh man, Neale, you drive a hard bargain.
Yeah, there you go.
Dave, before I make a comment, Dave, what have you got to offer?
Well, the fact I'm likely to die before any of you, you get your inheritance or whatever.
All right. I don't know. I'm going to leave that one for the ages.
Yeah, let's just leave that as it is. I think,
I feel very flattered as Matthew's potential husband.
Let's see how this develops
over the coming months. Or married accountant is basically how he wants you to be, Joe. So, Come on, next question. Oh, we're going to move on to the next section.
Let's do questions, man. We're on a roll.
Okay, yeah. Do it.
Mark Palmer.
Can I just interject there? It was Mark's wedding that I went to last weekend. So congratulations to him and Vicky.
Oh, congratulations, Mark.
Congratulations.
Hey, nice work, Mark. I hope Dave was a good guest.
It was very well behaved.
Yeah.
well behaved, best we can ask for. So he's got two questions. The first one, which is, have you ever been, I think a lot of us are going to, a few of us are going to, maybe all of us actually will find some elements of this, like we'll feel it from recent games we played, but check it out. So have you ever been so heavily invested in the game that not only are you thinking about it at work, Think about it when you eat, when you're dreaming, when you're sleeping about it, you're dreaming about it. But also still thinking about it during sex. Right. So that's the bit that kind of got me, but we'll carry on. And if so, what game was it? Did you tell your sexual partner? And do you get feelings of guilt whenever you see that game on a shelf or someone mentions it in passing? So have you got video game guilt?
Question.
I've got an answer
Sexual
for this.
video game guilt. Oh, Dave.
Not only is that question asking you, does that game take over your life, and that's what you're thinking about in every emotional kind of connection you have with somebody else? It's saying that, do you feel guilty when you're not thinking about that emotional connection you don't have with that game? Fuck me, Mark. That is a great question.
I think this question says a lot more about the questioner than they would like to say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I know exactly what he's
Is he
thinking
playing
about.
that Samantha Fox game when you were a kid? Is it Amiga or something like that? And you're topless. You get to
Sam Fox
push
strip
your
poker.
buttons.
What's the most
There you
worrying answer someone could give to this? Apart from yes,
I'll
which would be
probably
worrying.
tell
What
it, you
game
know.
would be the most worrying?
And a Leisure Suit Larry would be a bit weird.
Yeah, he probably would be.
I got completely and utterly addicted to EverQuest when it came out, and I was engaged to someone at the time, and all I wanted to think about and talk about or do was play EverQuest like round the clock. At one point, I literally was thinking about giving up some days of job so I could play more of it. I just became completely obsessed. So I was like ringing people to do a raid, like in Canada at 3 o'clock in the morning and stuff. It was bad. So
Wow.
from that point, that's why I can't play MMOs ever again. I am banned.
I'm glad we know
forever.
that. 'Cause we weren't planning that next segment we're doing where we throw Dave into random MMOs each week.
No,
Yeah,
I did talk
with
about
Dave.
doing it with Mark Monaghan. He was in a similar situation, but it was basically two heroin addicts talking about, just having a little bit of smack for a laugh. It was a terrible idea.
It was a couple of like little finger licks into cocaine for an addict. Like, this will be all right. Yeah, this will be all right.
So,
I don't know. It's a really difficult question, to be honest with you. I've thought about and dreamt about had a game haunt me for like I've had like quite a few games like that, but none of them have gone into my sex life. I've not taken VATs into sex. I've not like looked down at my sexual organs and looked at like my cock and gone, the hit points fucking 83, my balls 87,
93% penetration
vagina.
chance.
Yeah,
Why are you trying to hit your cock during sex? Like, is that just...
No, but
I
when
know you said it was
I'm not trying to
adventurous
hit it.
before. Why are you trying to hit your balls?
No, not trying to hit it, but just taking into consideration.
And you've got time to aim.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean hit. It could be rub. It could be, caress. And do you know what I mean? So I could talk about clitoris.
All them sexy
clitoris.
words.
Yeah, and all those sexy words. It's like, thank you, Matthew.
So you're thinking about green vagina at this point, or cock and balls?
No, it's highlighted in green. It doesn't mean it's actually green in colour.
That'd be absurd.
Come on. It's not. It's Soupy Maiden, for crying out loud. I'm like making love to.
It's not what? A Soupy Maiden?
A super.
Oh, you said a Soupy Maiden.
Equally weird. I'm saying, by the way,
That's like the most generic NPC ever. Soupy Maiden.
I can't be bothered, Soupy Maiden. let me reiterate that I am saying that
You
I
didn't
am
think
not
about Soupy
talking
Maiden
these.
while you were caressing
No,
any cock.
I am no. Myself, my balls.
By Soupy Maiden. That'd be a lovely...
No.
That's a great
This is like
title
horror
for a game.
films. You say that in the mirror 3 times and she appears behind
Soupy
you.
Maiden. Soupy Maiden.
Soupy Maiden.
Ah!
Oh my god. I think that's that answered then.
That is answered. Mark's had a second question as well. What game? Now this one made me question myself. And Joe, you're like this, so
Question yourself.
well, question about the state of gaming. I guess this is what game in your pile of shame is your biggest regret in purchasing? Not only due to the cost that you can throw £70 at it, but because it could be shit. Now, £70. I would not spend, and I don't know if you have to, if you're like a PlayStation 5 guy and you have to buy it from Game and it has to be in a disc. Is that how much they cost?
That's what
think about it, Matthew. But think about
digital costs.
Think about special editions. You're buying the game, but you're buying the editions. You're buying the add-ons. So like you don't. So I consider that to be part of that. So if you buy a game and you think, oh yeah, get the special edition, I'm gonna love this game. The hype has been amazing. And you know what? Actually, I'm going to get the soundtrack and a figure and all the kind of bits and bobs that go with it. You know, as we're all nerds, come on. The one that I do regret getting, because it was a fucking shit game, and I bought the special edition, was Assassin's Creed 3. You know, the one that was set in America, the Native American in America. It was a terrible game. Fucking awful. And I think I spent about £90 or £100 on the special edition with a figure and like coins and all these contraptions that I just traded in like 3 months later. It was weird. So yeah, it is possible to buy a game and regret paying as much money for that game. I think for special editions in particular.
I'm just looking on the PS Store at the moment, and Horizon Forbidden West is for the digital deluxe edition, which basically gives you some skins or something, is $79.99.
God.
Forget that.
See, I normally wait a little bit before I get a game. Like I really balk at paying that price. Might not surprise everyone here, but like there's a couple that I bought at launch, and like I bought Fallout 4 at launch, and it didn't click, and I regret not just like waiting a bit and seeing what other people had thought of it, and because it was an all right game, but it never had the magic of the earlier ones. I don't know.
Yeah, I've done that with loads of games. Just like not pre-ordered, just bought them when they came out, and then just watched the price plummet and cried.
Yeah,
I think we have learned already this year that that's just a terrible idea. I've got one for this. I bought Battlefield. I don't even know what the number is. The latest Battlefield. I bought that just before
2043.
Christmas. Yeah, I've literally never played it, and it's supposed to be awful. So that was money well spent. Well done, Dave. Pre-year of
How much
shame.
did you spend on that, Dave?
It was a CD key job, so it's probably about 30 quid. But it's still 30 quid literally thrown away. It'll be on Game Pass soon, won't it? Not that I can play it there either.
Why would you want to play
Until January 2023.
I'm not buying anything ever again. I'm just doing the year of shame until I die.
You can be a regular host.
Life of Shame.
Yeah. Any more questions for questions?
Yes, actually, we do from two different users. So, Adam Edwards, our favourite friend Damsky, he's thinking about buying a car, and I guess you could maybe ask this equation to anybody. But his question is: does he go for newer model with high mileage, or an older model with low mileage?
Do you think this is a euphemism?
If I know Adam, then definitely 1,000% it is. It's not only is it euphemism, it's got 1,000 connotations as well. So he's not just talking about a car. He's talking about people. He's talking about video games. He's talking about your wife, everything. So, do you buy a new model with higher mileage, or an older model?
Mileage. That sounds like Joe. He's getting to be an old
Mileage, yeah.
with mileage.
Extreme mileage. In the milderness. Gone mild.
He's got hit with a mileage rot.
What are the stats on these cars? Do they perform
My instinct
equally?
here is that newer cars probably work better, don't they? I don't know. Is he actually? Do you think Adam's actually thinking about buying a car? Because if you were, my advice would be wait a little bit, get an electric one second hand in a bit when they're better. However, that's the boring
So
answer.
that's an. Oh no, it wouldn't have high mileage though, would it? Perhaps it's
It
an
might do.
electric test car. That's what
Yeah.
he needs to buy. Like a milk float.
Just milk
I
float.
can
Go
see-
for milk float. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see Ad going to work on a milk float. There you go, Ad. That's your answer, milk float. You come here for the questions. We give you the answers. What can I say, fella?
There you go. Job done.
Right. Last question comes in from the beautiful James Watley we mentioned earlier. Now he's asking, will you be doing a community stream at some point where we can all dip in and say hi and chat? He suggests maybe a broadcast of your podcast recording on Twitch.
No, James, no. James Watley, no. That's not the real answer.
Why is that? Why do you feel so strongly about that, Joe? You could be honest.
No.
Okay. He says no, James.
I'm
James,
up for doing
stop
stuff.
it.
Like I said, mine's more a question
James,
of tech.
stop it.
Can I get things to work?
No, in all seriousness, yeah, be good. I just wanted to give a horrible... Sometimes, James Watley's so nice, you just have to be horrible to him sometimes.
Never been horrible to James.
He's one of the nicest people in the world.
He's a god among
occasionally,
men.
I don't think he gets to experience enough horrible people. So occasionally, I like to be the gremlin in James Watley's wife that just puts a bit of turd in the gold.
We all need someone like that.
Wow.
Just shake it up a bit.
Yeah, and I think also, James, I think we had just sort of spoken constantly about how Dave needs to sort that out, and the answer is yes.
Yeah.
It won't be a live podcast, but I would love nothing more than to be able to stream with you guys in some weird format where we just sit here and watch Dave answer questions about Nightmare or about Peaky Blinders in a mastermind kind of way. I will just watch with the rest of the community.
Why can't we do a live podcast?
Well, we could do, but I don't know, man. For 12 years I've been doing this, and I've never done a live one because in 12 years, at least 3 times, I would be cancelled.
True. Okay. And luck would have it, the time that you go live on Twitch, trying to do it, you'd end up just offending the entire planet. Okay, fair enough.
Maybe for the last one, where we've had a bit of practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we've had
I think the last
11
one's gotta be
practice
live.
goes.
Actually, I'm only joking. I don't mind. If we legit are doing something live, I can 100% be.
What if we did it properly live?
That was just jests.
Like
proper live on a stage with 2 meters apart.
Well, we don't even have to be 2 meters
No,
apart, do we?
I think he means live on Twitch.
No, I mean live, like in person.
Oh, what the fuck? Oh, no, I don't know about that.
Oh, you mean like a stage show?
Yeah, I think we should tour Edinburgh. Start off with this podcast and then...
What are we going to do Year of Shame at the Fringe?
Yeah.
Just talk about Time Hound and what was Soupy Maiden, was it?
Soupy Maiden. We've got characters. It could just be a character ensemble show.
I would say that one of us could be
Soupy Maiden,
getting dressed up in the
Time Hound.
background, coming out as the Soupy Maiden.
We'll get Russ Abbott in. He must be happy for me.
Has there been any Russ Abbott quotes so far?
No, I've looked and looked. There is no Russ Abbott news, unfortunately.
That's not a reflection on how deep his material is, by the way. Like, he's got a lot of depth and breadth to him.
And also,
just because we can't quote him every week doesn't mean it's not...
He's not dead, most importantly.
Is he not tweeted?
I don't think he knows how to work them newfangled computers.
Well, somebody must. I mean, Dave, you put in this. You put things in these show notes we don't even cover. We should at least have all of the quotes from the official Russ Abbott Twitter thing.
Media sources.
See what's going on.
I know that's exactly where Joe's gone to. I can tell by his face.
I'm looking at some Russ Abbott news, but there's nothing.
Can we get some Russ Abbott alerts?
It's all gone quiet.
I've definitely gone to the wrong Russ Abbott here. It's all in Russian. Russ_Abbott. It's a picture of a dog. Russian.
And then you just assumed it was Russian.
Yeah.
Apparently there's not enough sources for this, and there's been something here about, like, contentious material must be removed immediately on Russ Abbott's Wikipedia, but...
It's probably because they're chucking fucking allegations around. Okay, shall we move on? So, just because conscious of time and people's attention spans and the fact that people might just leave in the droves, I've got down as extras. We've got a couple of extras before we get to the BAFTAs, Dave. Is there some things in those extras that you want to cover, like the Back to Blood DLC?
Oh yeah, the Back to Blood DLC I asked because you can be match made into it and only one person in the party needs to own that DLC. I did a poll. 18 people said, yeah, it's fine. One said no, and one said, I don't know. So that's fine.
I don't know.
So, yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
We've touched on the other thing. The only other thing that we talked about last time, we were talking about the BAFTAs, but I think they're the back of everyone's memory now. I don't know if you want to go through them and what won. It doesn't really matter. Needless to say, most of them are on my pile of shame.
I suppose in a way, yeah, it would be quite good to just go really quickly through each category and go around the room and go, would you want to play it? Would you buy it? Or is it something that you can pick up later, I suppose? Just to get a bit of a gauge about whether it's something that would have tormented somebody this year, maybe, I suppose.
Okay.
Do you think?
Yeah.
From that list, the main one that I haven't played that I'd think about looking at would be Returnal, which is coincidentally, but I've never played that, and I've just heard lots of great things about it.
Have you heard that from friends?
Yeah.
Right. So that got best game, which I was surprised about, to be honest with you. But Matt, is there something that's on your radar, Returnal?
Yeah, it should be, shouldn't it? Because it's it's that sort of a game. But is it a PlayStation 5 exclusive?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I ain't playing that no time soon. But I can't wait till I do.
Yeah, it's there, and Dave's got a copy right in his hand right now.
On the list.
Have you not played it? You can't play it.
Not touched.
Dave?
Yeah, I bought it before Christmas, so...
You could play it, but you haven't. Okay.
No, it's
Good.
just on the pile, waiting to be... That's one of those I don't want to dabble with. That's going to be an Elden Ring, balls deep, jumping.
Okay. Next game is the Game of the Year public vote, which is Unpacking.
Completed it, mate.
I think we've mentioned this before on the... Definitely, we have definitely mentioned
I think
that
everyone should play that. I mean, it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but it's just such a lovely, relaxing experience. I really enjoyed that.
And sorry, am I reading this right? The third one on the list is a winner went to for the narrative of Unpacking.
No, it's unusual.
There's a narrative.
Yeah, I
Unpacking
mentioned this
your
at
clothes
the time.
into a...
For a game that has literally no dialogue at all and no real
How can you have a narrative?
Because it tells a story through as you play it. You form the story really, and you can see what's going on. So there is a plot, but it's not a plot that's shoved at you at all. You've got to sort of work out what's going on. You'll see. It's very obvious, and there's no way in a million years it should have won the narrative prize. But I can see why it did, because it's unlike anything else really. It's a bit like trying to say what the narrative in Elden Ring is like, where you only read them, off the back of swords and fag packets, fragments of lore.
Yeah.
But even Elden Ring has more.
I've learned more from beer mats than I have in Elden Ring.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so Evolving Game went to, obviously, No Man's Sky. Have any No Man's Sky fans amongst us?
I quite liked it. I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It was another game, though, that would drag me in and I'd spend 4 hours doing nothing. Like digging a big hole. Or like making a shed, for example. Yeah. But like...
Did you build an obelisk?
It's a square shed, obviously.
No, I loved it. I got into it, but I again would just get lost and do nothing, and then 3 hours would have gone past, which is great, but it's not good for playing lots of different games. Sorry, Dave, you started saying something, and I was
just going to say that exactly that. I got into it when it was new, and and it was a bit crap. So I played a hell of a lot of it when it first came out. But since they've added all these fantastic updates, I've hesitated to go into it because I know I will just play the balls off it. I will just play that game, and I won't really want to play anything else. It'll be another MMO situation. So I'm out.
Do you know what? I'm glad this is still getting awards for Evolving Game, because you remember this game came out, and as it was coming out, no one had any idea what was going on, and the guys got into a lot of trouble with some of their messaging ahead of the time. I'm pretty sure there was like a whole thing like maybe studios should have they were a small British team who just did Joe Danger,
Yeah.
Don't throw him into the world media just because, like, he might be. For all we know, he might be the dude who does. Oh God, not Richard Garriott, the guy from Fable, Molyneux. He might be like him. Yeah, we're gonna do this, and all the team back at home are going, shit. He's just talked about NPCs gonna have their own unique dialogues. We've got to try and make that happen. But years on, it's still getting the evolving game of the year. That's dedication to like fixing a game. Yeah. Good teamwork.
Well, it's a hell of a good value for money game, isn't it?
Yeah, there was a huge update last month, wasn't there? It was like Outlaws. I think they improved like all the ship combat and added a load of features. And it was either today or yesterday. He's announced another load of stuff coming. You know, it's unbelievable the amount of content it gets. So, you know, hats off to him. That's how you turn a game around.
Damn straight it is. Right, I'll pick up from Neale for a hot second. So, best original property went to It Takes Two.
Absolutely the best game I played last year. I've never had so much fun playing a game with my mate. Everybody needs to play this with someone. It's like being in a Pixar film.
Does that work online as well as like couch co-op?
Yeah, when you play online, you still see the screen as if you're playing couch co-op. It's like split down the middle. So you still see whatever they're seeing. So it's effectively like playing couch co-op.
I just caught myself thinking then, do you know what? I might give that a go. I might play that with Helen like this. Can I? Not allowed. Unless it appears on like one of the subscription things. It's not. I'm still iffy about them.
But Alright, moving on. Best British game went to Forza Horizon 5, which I was already playing last year on the Game Pass. I got as much out of that as I needed. Great game.
Yeah, great. I enjoyed a few community nights on that. I've got no interest in going back personally. It's just another Forza for me. But for those community nights, they were so good. And it is a great game. But it is exactly the same as the other ones.
True that. Moving on to technical achievement goes to Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, another PlayStation 5 exclusive.
Now, Ratchet & Clank, I'm not playing that
There's another
version,
one
right?
on the list.
I am playing a Ratchet & Clank, and it feels like it's not for me. I've been playing a bit of that Ratchet & Clank Valleys, and it feels like a Nintendo game for the PlayStation, but without the polish. And that might just be that game isn't brilliant, but I don't know.
I only picked that up because I saw it in a second-hand shop for 20 quid, so I thought, I'll have that.
Well, are you a fan of Ratchet & Clank in general? Like, have you played the older ones? No.
Nah. I played a bit of them. In fact, the one I played most of was probably on the PSP.
Right.
Right. Next, best debut, Toem. It's a photography game. I've heard some people on other podcasts talk about this, but I've not got it. Don't know anything about it. Best multiplayer, It Takes Two. As we said, incredible. Best music, Returnal. None of us have played it yet, so we don't know. Games Beyond Entertainment, Before Your Eyes. Anyone know what this is?
Not a clue.
No.
Never heard of it. It's like Time Hound to me.
Time Hound is like...
I would like that on a t-shirt. It's like
eyes.
Time Hound to me. That would be a good one.
Audio Achievement, Returnal. Again, we haven't played it yet. Artistic Achievement, The Artful Escape. Now, this is fantastic. If you've got Game Pass and you've got 4 or 5 hours, probably less than that, more like 2 or 3, play it. Put your headphones on, get nicely blazed on whatever your substance, drink of choice is, and play it. It is phenomenal. It's just like a side runner, basically. And
I did this last year.
You
it's
finished
great.
it?
It's music. It's wonderful.
I know it's just come back to him.
Played it in one thing. I remember one thing myself. I'd love to talk to Darren about that. Never got a chance to. Me and you will talk about that in a bit, Dave.
Fantastic game.
Yeah, man.
Game design, Inscription. Now this, I have got a copy of this to play. This is a really creepy card game, which I understand has an enormous twist. I picked it up because everyone says this is amazing. So I haven't touched it yet myself. And finally, animation, Ratchet & Clank, Rift Apart. Yeah, we haven't played it yet. Done.
Done.
The BAFTAs.
Done
Well
and
done.
dusted.
Well done, them.
All the BAFTAs.
All of them.
All the BAFTAs.
Cool.
Right.
Right then, so I guess all that leaves then is for us to say goodbye. But first, we'll do the domestics. We haven't got some poor soul to do it for us this week. So we're available on podcast services, all the usual places, Spotify, etc. Facebook group is www.facebook.com/groups/Year of Shame. That's where we do most of our interactions. You can email us at yearofshame@gmail.com. Twitter is @yearofshame, and I'm not going to give you the link to the Midlife Gamer Discord because it's too long, but just ask someone.
It's massive and it's full of blah, 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 blah.
Can you imagine anyone that was relying on that? Like, they would just they would refuse any other way of getting on the Discord.
And they've waited
Keep going
until
back.
the end.
Crackers.
Anyway, that's all from us. Thank you, and good evening.
That's beautiful.
Good evening. Goodbye.
I think there should be a competition to best picture of Cotswold Buff and Soupy Maiden.
What, like a drawing competition,
Yeah,
like in the
drawing
old days?
competition,
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And they have to send it on a stamped addressed envelope to someone's house.
To your shed. That's our official sorting office now.
Yeah, that's our PO box.
Yeah.
Is your shed?
So, are you gonna do anything with this shed? Is it gonna be like a potting shed, a
No,
shed?
he's
Yeah,
going
I'm
to move
gonna
on
do
to his
something
next
shed.
mundane project after this.
No, the shed is
gonna-
going to have a couple of bikes in it at the moment. It's sort of semi-storage, but it's quite nice. It's all right. We're going to eventually put power in it. We needed to get stuff out of the garage because the garage is like a gym with a load of shite in it. So we have to take the shite out and put it in the shed. At the moment, we've put garden seating in. It's quite nice to just sit in there and watch the world go by. Watch the bees do their thing in the garden.
Your garage sounds like a monkey enclosure. It's basically
Yeah.
looks like a gym full of shite.
It's essentially that, yeah.
Anyone done anything particularly foul or embarrassing this week?
Jesus, that sounds like someone desperate to get some outtake
what have you
material to
done?
me.
What have you done, Dave?
Yeah. Actually, Dave, what
I
have you
haven't.
done?
It's been, apart from being too fat to get into my trousers. That's it, really. Oh, there was a photographer at the wedding, and I was a bit scared to get too close to him because his one arm looked like Day of the Tentacle. Basically, it was just like
Did he only have
covered
one
in
arm?
blisters and stuff. No, I just thought he might fucking have monkeypox. I'm staying away from that. I didn't take a picture of him. I thought it was rude. Don't put that in, for God's sake. Actually, nah, Mark could just laugh. Oh, talking about that,
I didn't know what monkeypox was until about 5 days ago.
it's a game by Sega on the GameCube.
Super Monkeypox.
Monkey ball pox.
Imagine if you just stuck loads of balls on your arm and just said, "I've got super monkeypox."
So Joe, come on. What is the point of the shed?
What does the shed have to have a point? It's not like... what I'm going to do is put some stuff in it. And sit in it.
Moonshine. You're gonna have
Well, I
still-
do a bit of brewing. I haven't done any in the shed, but I might do a bit of home brew. Do a bit of home brewing.
There you go.
That's not what's-
That's better than a home from a fucking bike.
Well, it's not, because it's mostly going to be somewhere for the bikes. I get the bikes out of the garage. I told you I'm embracing the mundane.
If
Have
you
you got-
were
you got a
going to
lock on the
call
door?
it,
We have got a lock on the door, yeah.
if you were going to turn it into
you-
like a summer house, like put a little pub bit and stuff, what would
It's
your
doable.
pub name be? You know, people put the pub name on the shed.
Yeah.
You know, like
I always like the
Joe,
one from the
Joe's
young
was
ones.
or something.
The The young ones was the kebab and calculator, and that stuck in my mind.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
much. It's a good one. The Broken Arms is another good one as well, isn't it?
What's the one from Peep Show? There's something in pedo.
Oh gosh, yes, there is one, isn't there?
Yeah, there's something in pedo from Peep Show. It always comes to mind. Where someone talks about what they should call their pub. I'm like, it's the one where Missy Pants wants to put a washing machine in the middle of the pub just to freak people out. Oh my god, there's a washing machine in the middle of the pub. Shit, I need a drink. And that's his game plan, basically.
I had tickets to see him do stand up, and it was literally over the road from my house at the art centre just up the road, and then COVID hit, so I was gutted.
Free the pedos.
Free the pedos, exactly.
I mean, he's not going to use that sound out.
The Swan and Pedo.
I started doing like the pedo arms, like the red pedo, trying to put like traditional British pubs with the word, yeah. But no, free the pedos was the quote from Superhands, just to make sure we remember the context.
Yeah. I mean, what a statement to make. Just free them for whatever reason. Yeah. Right, what are we on? What's the time? We probably do need another story or two. We're on. Oh god, we're on half past 10.
We're on half 10. Yeah, we're on 2 hours and half 10.
Okay. Right.
I've got a sex toy I've not used yet.
Oh shit, the bed. You've what? A brand new one that you've never used before, or one that you've had for ages and you never used?
Both, I guess. Well,
Shit!
I've not used it, but it's been out of its box and it's been charged up several times and it's lost its charge and I've still yet to use it.
Yeah, mate.
That's just lazy.
It's a battery.
I know they're supposed to do all the work, but honestly, if you can't even be bothered to use it.
So is it drained its own battery because it's been just fucking spinning along on its own in the windowsill?
I'm spinning around.
Or have you has it been like a year since you've used it and therefore it's lost it?
Perhaps he's
working
up the courage. It might look like
I've got to work up to that, Dave.
medieval siege machine.
He's a massive fucking Wellington boot on a dildo.
What is it?
How the fuck do you not?
What variety?
Is it an innie or an
it's
outie?
It depends on your state of mind, I guess.
Have you bought some sort of pre-op transsexual sex doll?
We need to do the money saving analysis.
I love how ambiguous Matt
could
wants
Matthew
to be
have got
about
a
it.
sex toy cheaper?
No, I'm just thinking we're
For
joking
buying it
about
from
being
Chinese.
cancelled.
Was it?
I can't answer.
Was it off?
Is it another bloke?
What's that internet shop? You buy weird stuff off. Not Etsy.
Wish.
Yeah.
AliExpress.
Have you been buying your sex toys from Wish and just got something completely unexplained?
A Chinese guy's turned up. You're not charged him. I want you to fuck my wife, but not yet.
Wait. He's just bought.
Hold it in. Hold it in.
Bought himself a sort of dom. Sorry, it's some sort of subordinate. He's just had stood in the corner for a year.